Alright, hello. So it's a Friday night, and so in order to fit in with what I'm sure every other person my age is doing on a Friday night, I'm gonna take a math test. The only issue is that this math test is in Korean, and I don't speak Korean. All I know is that there are some multiple choice questions, some open-ended questions, and I am in a lot of trouble. So hopefully this will be fun. Let's just dive right into it. Let's start the timer. Here we go. Okay, so the first question actually doesn't look too bad. I don't really need to know what the Korean means. I think we just have to evaluate this expression, right? So the cube root of 5 is like 5 to the 1/3, and then times 25 to the 1/3. This can be written as 5 to the 1/3 times like 5 squared to the 1/3, which is just 5 to the 1/3 times 5 to the 2/3 by the power rule, or whatever it's called, and then you add the exponents, so it should equal 5. Okay. I don't know what this means. So, there's a value k in here, and we're dealing with some sort of series, such that this expression holds, I think. Oh god, I'm already in so much trouble. Okay, I'm assuming that a1 through a4 are all integers, so I'm just gonna say ai, they're all integers. Okay, let's... My goodness, I'm in so much trouble. Okay, I think it has to be positive integers. Let's just multiply everything by a1, a2. Oh, I think I have an idea of what this is. I think this is an arithmetic sequence. My guess, yes, I think an is an arithmetic sequence. And I think we're gonna have a1, a2, a3, a4, so on. That's our sequence, but the difference is k. And I think we need to figure out what k is to satisfy this equation. So then we can say a1 is just a1, a2 is equal to a1 plus k, and then a4 is equal to a1 plus 3k. So now we can substitute in. Now we have to figure out what k is. But what about a1? Let's see if we can simplify this a little bit. I really don't want to simplify it though. Okay, I think I was being silly. I don't think it's an arithmetic sequence. I think it's a geometric sequence. And that would make this problem so much easier, because then we have, this is going to be equal to these two fractions. We'll leave a1 in the denominator, a2 will be k times a1, which appears both there, and then a4 will be k cubed a1, and this equals 30. This simplifies to k squared plus k equals 30. And of these options, 5 is the correct answer. Can't believe I wasted 8 minutes on this stupid question. Alright, pressing onwards. Alright. All I know is that looks like a derivative, so we're gonna find the derivative of this, and it should just be finding like f prime of 2, I think, right? 8, so f prime of 2 is equal to 4. Easy peasy. Question 4. I don't speak Korean, but we have a piecewise function and it's split at -2. My guess is that this is going to have to deal with continuity, and so we're essentially going to solve for a such that 5x plus a is equal to x squared minus a. It's going to ask us to find the value of a that makes this continuous. So we have at x equals -2. Okay, I was like, what am I supposed to do? A equals 7, answer choice 2. Cool. Okay, that was not that hard, except for that one question. Onwards. Okay, I see a function I see f prime of 1. I think we just have to evaluate f prime of 1. So this looks like some sort of product rule nonsense. So f prime of x should be equal to... And now just solve f prime of 1. 14, that's an answer choice. We're flying. Okay, we have an integral. So I think we can... Huh? Am I dumb? What am I doing? The integral of some quantity is equal to this. So this is saying f of t is equal to d dx of... Oh, but what about plus c? It would be really helpful if I could read. Okay, anyways, let's just compute this. Oh, and then, okay, it's because when you evaluate this at x and 0, like if you were to add a constant and then subtract it when you evaluate it at 0, that constant will still remain. So c is equal to 0. So f of t equals that. We're asked to find f of 1, so that's just equal to 9 times 1 plus 2, which is 11. We're chillin', man, we're chillin'. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Again, I don't think the Korean's gonna help us this much here. So now, oh geez, do I remember my cosine angle sum thingy? Oh no. It's like, well, okay, let's just evaluate and see what happens. So we have, this first term goes to 0, so negative sine of theta is equal to negative 1/5. Sine of theta is 1/5. And so cosecant of theta is 5. Alright, question 8. Okay, this is going to be bad. I'll deal with that term later, but what we're going to do is we're going to do the change of base here. Because when we multiply this entire quantity by log 2, which is equal to b, right, that's b, then we're going to get some cancellation. Oh, we're chillin', look at this. This is log 20 minus log 2, which is log of 20 over 2, which is log of 10, that equals 1. I still got it. Now we're in deep, deep trouble. That is way more Korean than I've seen thus far. X equals pi over 3, and there's some number 13, but I don't know what the 13 relates to. Okay, I've been staring at this question for a minute. I have legitimately no idea what's going on here. And so I'm just gonna mark it to come back to it, but I will put in a guess. My guess is due to this 13, A should be 13. And just because we have this b in this fraction here, my guess is that b should be equal to 3, and the sum of these is 16. No clue, purely vibes. Alright, back to calculus. Okay, so it's looking like we just need to find a value of a that satisfies the equation. So, okay, let's just evaluate the integral on the right-hand side first and see what happens. Looks like it's just equal to 0. So now, and so maybe if we evaluate from 0 to a and find the value of a that makes that equal to 0, we'd be in business as well. So let's try that, see what happens. Alright, so we get this equation. Now I guess we just solve for a. So we get two solutions, -2 and 10. -2 is like trivial, so 10 is one of our options. I think we roll with that. Alright, now we're in for a treat. I don't know what this capital P means, because it appears in multiple places, and I just don't know what that means. The only thing I can think of is power. It looks like I'm trying to find the value of P, but I don't know. I don't know what P is. Okay, look, this is the type of equation where taking a derivative just makes sense because of that second term. that the 2's will cancel. And let's just take another derivative. Just for fun, I'm going to try taking the integral of it just to see what happens. What am I supposed to do? I think this might be another question where I just have to throw in the towel. I literally don't know what to do. I feel like the number 12 just makes sense here. So we're gonna roll with that and I'll revisit it. Oh man, I'm really struggling, man. Okay, so it seems like we have some series here. I can't tell if they're arithmetic series or geometric series. And then we have to find the sum of the first 5 values. So when n equals 1, this tells us that a sub 1 over b sub 2 is equal to 1/2. And we're told that a sub 1 is equal to 2, so this tells us b sub 2 is equal to 4. Okay, fine. N equals 2 says that to 3/2. So let's just see what happens when we try n equals 3. Alright, so it's some sort of pattern here where a2 over b3 equals 3/2, a3 over b4 equals 5/2, so on and so forth. I don't know what that means though. Maybe they're not arithmetic or geometric series. Like maybe they're just pure series. Okay, here is my realization. If we let b be an arithmetic series where it goes 2, 4, 9, 8, 10, 12, and then you solve for the values of a, you get something that's not an arithmetic series or geometric series. I don't know what it is, but if you take the sum of the first 5 terms, you get 120, and that's one of the answer choices. I don't know what this question is asking. All I know is that I'm sure I got the question correct. I'm freaking out. All right, let's read question 13 together. Okay, I'm done reading. Oh my goodness gracious. What am I supposed to do? Okay, this doesn't look that bad actually. This area seems to be B, this area seems to be A. We need to figure out what B minus A is. Okay, I think we pretty much just have to figure out what the function is that describes the curve. And then from there, we can solve for a and b just by taking 2 integrals and then take the difference. The question is, how do you figure out like what this function is supposed to be? I think we guess it's a 3rd degree polynomial, and we use the fact that f of 1 equals f of 2 equals 0. The reason why I say it's a 3rd degree polynomial is only because it curves down over there. You know, maybe it says somewhere in here that it's a 3rd degree polynomial. Maybe it's a higher degree polynomial. I don't really know. It just seems like if we guess it's a 3rd degree polynomial, that's our best chance of figuring out what this function is. And this equals -7. So k equals -3. So that means our polynomial is x cubed minus 7x plus 6. But yeah, I think now we just go about solving the integral. First we need the line OP. So P will be at the point 3 comma f of 3. F of 3 is 27 minus 21 plus 6, which is 12. So 3 comma 12. We have to find Q, where the curves intersect. We might be able to get away without solving for Q, because if we just go straight to B minus A, that's the representation with respect to integrals. And the integrands might just be off by a -1 factor. Let's just try to simplify this. Yep, look at this. Because this becomes the integral from Q to 3 And those are the same integrands. And now we can just say we're looking for the integral from 0 to 3 of negative x cubed plus 11x minus 6 dx. My answer is 45 over 4. Oh, it's an answer choice. Excellent. All right, it's the next evening. I have a massive headache, but we're gonna push through with this. Let's just continue with where we left off. All right, so we have a triangle. We have AD to DB is a 3:2 ratio. So let's just mark that 3:2. Okay, O is a circle. I'm guessing A is the center of the circle. Sine A to sine C is 8:5, and something about ADE to ABC is 9:35. I'm guessing it's area? And now there's something about P and PBC. Well, I don't know what P is. This seems to be a theme because it was the other question where I didn't know what P was. Oh wait, there's a 7 here. Okay, so just using the law of sines here, we can determine that BC equals 8. Now I don't really know what to do. Bruh, I'm so confused, man. Yeah, man, I have no idea. I don't know what the circle is doing. I don't know why there's a number 7. I don't know what P is supposed to be. So we're just gonna guess on this one. We'll guess B, and I will mark it that it's a complete guess. I'm sorry, I can't figure this one out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, this is a crazy start to a question. A, then in parentheses, A does not equal 3√5. What a random thing to say. What am I supposed to do? Once again, I've been staring at this question for 2 minutes, and I have no idea what's going on. Obviously there's a piecewise function defining G. This looks like it's 2 separate facts, but I feel like this first one is something that I need to know. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. This is a bad start to today. Out of these choices, let's go with 38, because why not? And again, we're marking it. All right. All right, so we've moved into the free response questions. And it seems like we're solving for x here, and this is a pretty simple expression. Just, change a base formula here, and then just realize that, okay, this is 2 times, you just use like the multiplicator or exponential, whatever it is with logs, and then set them equal to each other, solve for x. 2 doesn't work, right? Because then this becomes -1 in the interior. I guess we're just saying x equals 7 is the only solution. And we roll with that. I'm scared I'm making silly mistakes, but who knows? All right, here we go. All right, this seems like a pretty simple calculus question. There's some function f of x, we know its derivative, and we know f of 1 equals 6, and we just need to find f of 2. Seems like we just take the integral and then solve for c, and then plug in 2. Okay, so we have c equals 1. Now we just solve for f of 2. I think the answer is 33, and I feel pretty good about myself, but I know that feeling's not going to last long. Oh, God. Okay, actually, I feel like this one I don't need to understand the language to figure this out. It just seems like we have some series where this property always holds. We need to find the sum of the first 16 terms. But I think you can just represent this sum as like a1 plus a5. And all of these follow the bases differ by 4, so we can use this fact up here. So this should just be equal to 12 times 8, 96. Not too shabby, not too shabby. All right, let's see this question. Okay, well, I don't know. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of cooked on this one. And I have a feeling even if I did understand the language, I still wouldn't be able to solve it because I'm not really sure what's going on here. I tried setting this equal to each other, but I don't have the bandwidth to solve this right now for x, and even if I do solve it for x, I don't know what that gives me. because maybe that actually gives me k. I don't know. I don't know. So I think we just take the L on this one. Maybe I just guess like 1 and call it a day. Okay, we're back to algebra. I guess the previous one was algebra, but I feel like I've been doing good at the algebra questions. Alright, need to find a value of A. And here we go. Ah! I'm a little stumped on this one, so I think I spoke too soon. Yeah, there's just too many unknowns with okay, clearly we have to figure out what A is. This 7/27 is a wild thing to have in a question. Like, I see no reason why there should be a fraction right now. And this is supposed to be an easy question since it seems to be worth 3 points, if that's what that means. But I guess, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be providing the answer for A or f of 3. Like, I can't tell if this 7/27 describes what f of 3 is, or if it tells me some fact about A. So there's so many unknowns, I'm not sure what to solve for. Let me think about it for a couple more minutes, I think. Yeah, I have no clue. This 7/27 is, like, actually wild. Once again, I'm gonna have to guess. I'm gonna guess 12 and just... I don't know. I don't know. And it's not looking any better. Here we go. F of x... it's these stupid functions that have unknown coefficients. Like, come on. What is alpha? Limit as x approaches alpha. How am I supposed to figure this out, bro? I have no idea. Let's just plug in some stuff and see what happens. Okay, hear me out. I don't want to give up on this question. So, I've plugged in f of 2x plus 1 and got this, nasty expression down here, but there's also some factoid about f of 1, which, gives me 5 plus a plus b. Again, I don't know what f of 1, like, what information that's supposed to give me. Clearly it has something to do with a and b, but I don't know what that is. So instead of giving up, I'm going to try to do some, like, lexical matching and scroll up to other questions that I've solved and see if I can match anything in the question to something I've seen before and decipher the meaning. This might take like 15 minutes. I'm not giving up though, so bear with me. See, already we've made some progress. This word right here and that right there match. Now, of course, I don't know what this word means, but I do know that in question 17, or at least I'm guessing, that we had to evaluate for f of 2. So I'm guessing this means something along the lines of evaluate or find the value of. Give me a little bit more time. Another match. See? This word right here and that word right there match. Now, I don't know what that could mean. It could mean something with differential. It could just mean function. Oh, it could mean such that. I think these two together mean such that. That's my guess. Okay, progress is being made, like barely, but stick with me. Okay, I am making the executive decision to skip questions 21 and 22. I might come back to them later. I took a glance at 22. There's no way. Like, there's absolutely no way. 21, maybe. I just can't think of what it is right now. I have such a bad headache. And yeah. So it seems like this is kind of the end of some sort of section. So yes, that was the end of section 1. In part 2 of this series, the next video that's posted, I'll do the second part of the exam. But for now, we're going to grade the first part of the exam and see how we did. So the left-hand side is the answer key. I also have a translation app open, just in case we're curious about any of the problems. So let's get right into it. Question 1 I felt pretty confident on, and the answer is 5, so that's correct. Question 2, I felt good on. The answer is 4. Correct. Question 3, this took forever to solve, and it's correct. Wow, those 8 minutes at the start of the test really paid off there. Question 4, the answer is 2, so I was correct about continuity. 4 for 4 so far. Not too shabby. Question 5, the answer is 4. Again, this was pretty simple, right? Question 6, the answer is 5. And I got that correct. Again, that was just trigonometry. Question 7, the answer is 3. Somehow, we're 7 for 7. Question 8, the answer is 1. And we got it. Question 9, the answer is 2. Got it. Question 10, the answer is 3, and I already see that I circled it. You've got to be kidding me. This is the question that I stared at for a while and then just guessed on because A should be 13 and B should be 3. I'm curious what it says. Okay, the translation isn't great, but it seems like the number 13 refers to the maximum value of something, and we're trying to find the minimum value of A plus B. Come on, let's go. Alright, question 11, the answer is 4. And we did not guess that correctly. Okay, let us figure out what P is. Oh, P is a point. And it's asking for what's the acceleration of point P. No, I don't think I could have guessed that. Okay, first miss. Question 12. This one wasn't a guess, but I also had no clue what the question was asking, and I just stumbled across an answer. Let us see what it says. It seems like I guessed it correctly. It says that B is an arithmetic sequence, but it doesn't say anything about A. So, oh my god, I can't believe I got that. That's wild. Alright, 13 is 5. Okay, we got that. 14, I see that I circled it. The answer is 4. Did not guess that. It seems like P is just somewhere on the circle, and you need to find the maximum value of triangle PBC, the area of that. Yeah, I don't think I was guessing that anytime soon. 15 is 2, and we did not get that. So 16, I felt pretty good on. The answer is 7. We're correct here. Excellent. 17 is 33. I remember that number. Yep, 33. 18 is 96. I remember that number. So good. 19. Oh, yes, I had no clue what was going on here. It says when the maximum value of the function is 7 over 27. Is that, then find f of 3. That was not happening. Question 20 is 36. Not even close. And then this is where things fell off the rails. So 21, the answer is 16. I didn't even guess. And 22 is 64. I didn't even guess. Okay, let me tally up how many points I got, and let's see. Seems like I got 47 out of the 74 possible points. You know, for not knowing the language, I think this is a success. Stay tuned for part 2, where I struggle even more.